The shocking announcement: the automotive world was shaken when Jeep and Ram, two powerhouse brands under Stellantis, announced jaw-dropping price cuts of up to 50% on select models. For an industry that's been defined in recent years by relentless price hikes, dealer markups, and supply shortages, this sudden move feels nothing short of a bombshell. Imagine walking into a dealership and seeing a rugged Jeep Wrangler or a powerful Ram 1500, vehicles that normally command premium prices, being offered at half the cost. It almost sounds too good to be true. But this isn't just a seasonal promotion or a clearance gimmick, it's a dramatic, calculated shift that signals deeper changes happening within the US auto market. Consumers who have been priced out of new vehicles due to sky-high interest rates and inflation suddenly see the gates swinging wide open, while dealerships scramble to handle the surge of attention. This announcement has sparked excitement among buyers, panic among competitors, and endless speculation among analysts. Is Stellantis trying to ignite a buying frenzy, unload unsold inventory, or reposition Jeep and Ram as the ultimate value brands in America? Whatever the motive, the shockwaves of this decision are already rippling far beyond showrooms, and the auto world can't stop talking about it. Why now? The timing of Jeep and Ram's 50% price slash is no coincidence. It comes at a moment when the auto industry is walking a tightrope between opportunity and crisis. After years of inflated prices driven by supply shortages, semiconductor crises, and aggressive dealer markups, demand has started to cool dramatically. Consumers are holding back, burdened by high interest rates, sky-high car payments, and uncertainty about the economy. For Stellantis, this creates a dangerous scenario: lots full of unsold Jeeps and Rams, vehicles stacking up in inventory, and pressure from investors demanding stronger sales numbers. By slashing prices, Stellantis isn't just creating headlines, it's creating urgency. It's a wake-up call to hesitant buyers, telling them that this is their golden chance to finally get the vehicle they've been waiting for. But there's another layer to this decision. The future of the auto market is rapidly shifting toward electrification, and Jeep and Ram both have aggressive EV plans in the pipeline. That means Stellantis may be eager to clear out older gas-powered inventory before new electric models roll in, preventing dealerships from getting clogged with outdated stock. In short, this isn't just about moving metal, it's about survival, adaptation, and ensuring Jeep and Ram remain competitive in a market that's transforming faster than anyone predicted. Impact on consumers: for consumers, Jeep and Ram's decision to slash prices by 50% is nothing short of a game changer. In a market where the average new vehicle price has been climbing past $48,000, suddenly being able to grab a rugged Jeep or a heavy-duty Ram at half that cost feels like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Families who had written off the idea of buying new now find themselves back in the game. First-time buyers who were stuck browsing used car lots for overpriced, high-mileage vehicles are now considering brand-new models with full warranties. Even loyalists of other brands, like Ford or Chevy, are taking a hard look at Stellantis dealerships because the savings are simply too big to ignore. Beyond affordability, these discounts shift the psychology of car buying. Instead of settling for less, buyers can now aim higher, choosing trims, features, and performance packages that were once out of reach. And for truck enthusiasts, the ability to snag a Ram 1500 at a price lower than many mid-sized SUVs is mind-blowing. But the impact goes deeper than just affordability. This move forces lenders to adjust their financing offers, potentially creating better terms for buyers. It pressures competing dealerships to cut deals of their own, creating a ripple effect that might finally cool down the overheated auto market. In short, Jeep and Ram aren't just making vehicles cheaper, they're redefining what value looks like for the modern car buyer. Dealership reactions: inside dealership showrooms, the atmosphere is a mix of chaos, excitement, and cautious optimism. Sales floors that were once quiet, echoing with frustrated buyers walking out over high prices, are suddenly buzzing with energy. Customers are lining up, phones are ringing nonstop, and sales staff who struggled to meet quotas are now overwhelmed by the flood of interest. Some dealers see this as a blessing, a chance to clear bloated inventories that have been gathering dust for months. Others, however, are raising eyebrows, worried that cutting prices so dramatically could damage long-term profit margins and erode the premium image that Jeep and Ram have built over decades. Behind the scenes, dealership managers are scrambling to adjust financing options, update online listings, and manage trade-in values that suddenly look inflated compared to the new discounts. Some even fear backlash from recent buyers who paid full price just weeks ago and now feel burned by the sudden markdowns. Still, most dealers agree on one thing: this announcement has jolted the market back to life. The surge of foot traffic, the spike in inquiries, and the energy returning to sales floors is something many haven't seen since before the pandemic. Whether this momentum sustains or fizzles out will depend on how Stellantis manages supply and whether competitors jump into the price war, but for now, dealerships are strapped in for the wild ride. Competitors on edge, the ripple effects of Jeep and Ram's bold move are already sending shockwaves through the automotive landscape. Competitors like Ford, Chevrolet, Toyota, and even newer players like Rivian are watching nervously, realizing that a 50% price cut doesn't just shake customer loyalty, it redefines the battlefield. Ford, with its best-selling F-150, suddenly faces the possibility of truck buyers flocking to Ram dealerships in droves. Chevy, already battling lukewarm demand for the Silverado, knows it can't afford to sit still if Ram trucks are selling at prices rivaling compact SUVs. Even Toyota, usually insulated by its reputation for reliability and resale value, risks losing customers who see Jeep and Ram offering deals that make the Tacoma or Tundra look overpriced. For EV startups like Rivian, the news is equally alarming. Their vehicles already face skepticism over high prices, and now Jeep and Ram are making gas-powered trucks and SUVs more accessible than ever. Industry analysts warn that competitors will have to respond either with aggressive incentives, special financing deals, or even their own round of price slashes. The fear is that once one automaker makes such a drastic move, it triggers a domino effect, creating a full-blown price war. And in that scenario, only the strongest brands with the deepest pockets will survive. Jeep and Ram may have lit the match, but the entire auto industry is now sitting in a powder keg. The EV factor, beneath the excitement of 50% price cuts lies a critical question: is Stellantis preparing the battlefield for its next big push into electric vehicles? Jeep and Ram both have ambitious EV roadmaps, with the Jeep Recon, Wagoneer S, and Ram 1500 REV already generating buzz. But here's the reality: dealership lots are still crowded with gas-powered SUVs and trucks, vehicles that were produced during the supply chain recovery when automakers overestimated demand. As interest rates rose and buyers hesitated, these models started piling up, leaving Stellantis with a major problem: too much old inventory and not enough room for the new wave of EVs. By slashing prices now, Stellantis isn't just trying to spark short-term sales, it's clearing the decks. Every Jeep or Ram sold at a deep discount makes space for the electric fleet arriving in the next year. There's also the psychological factor. EVs, while growing in popularity, still carry a stigma of being too expensive for the average buyer. By proving that Stellantis is willing to cut aggressively on pricing, the company could be setting the stage for competitive EV pricing strategies as well. Imagine if Stellantis launches its electric Ram 1500 at a price that undercuts Ford's F-150 Lightning or Tesla's Cybertruck. That alone could shift the market. On the flip side, these discounts highlight the challenge automakers face, balancing the push toward electrification while still offloading traditional gas-powered models. If Stellantis pulls this off, Jeep and Ram could become the bridge brands, leading loyal gas engine fans smoothly into the EV era. But if they miscalculate, it could create confusion, eroding confidence in both their current lineup and their electric future. Short-term boost or long-term trouble? While the headlines about 50% price cuts sound like a dream for buyers, industry insiders are split on whether this is a brilliant short-term boost or a ticking time bomb for Jeep and Ram's long-term stability. In the short run, the benefits are obvious: dealerships clear out stagnant inventory, sales charts spike, and consumers flock to Stellantis showrooms like never before. The buzz alone puts Jeep and Ram at the center of the national conversation, painting them as bold brands that are willing to put customers first in a time of financial strain. This momentum could help restore trust among buyers who felt priced out of the new car market in recent years. But beneath the surface lies a more dangerous question: what happens once the excitement fades? Slashing prices so drastically risks training consumers to expect deep discounts, making it harder for Jeep and Ram to ever return to premium pricing. It could also hammer resale values, leaving current owners frustrated when their vehicles lose value faster than expected. Profit margins, already thin in the competitive truck and SUV markets, could shrink to unsustainable levels, forcing Stellantis to rely heavily on volume just to stay afloat. And if rivals join in with their own aggressive discounts, the industry could spiral into a price war that eats into the bottom line of every automaker involved. In other words, while the move may ignite a firestorm of sales today, it could just as easily leave Stellantis struggling with the fallout tomorrow. This is the fine line Jeep and Ram are walking, between a historic win and a potential disaster. The ripple effect across the industry: Jeep and Ram's bombshell price cuts aren't contained within their own brand, they're creating shockwaves across the entire auto industry. The move has forced every major automaker to stop and re-evaluate its strategy. Ford, GM, Toyota, Honda, and even luxury brands like BMW and Mercedes are suddenly facing a harsh reality. Buyers now know it's possible to get a rugged SUV or a full-size truck for nearly half of what they expected to pay just weeks ago. That changes consumer psychology in a massive way. Why would anyone rush to buy a competitor's vehicle at full price when Stellantis has reset the standard so dramatically? This ripple effect isn't just about competition, it's about perception. If Jeep and Ram can afford to cut prices by 50% and still move units, customers start asking uncomfortable questions. Were cars overpriced all along? Have automakers been inflating margins during shortages? And if so, are other brands prepared to step up with their own discounts? These doubts could pressure rivals to follow suit, sparking a domino effect that reshapes pricing models industry-wide. Beyond sales, the used car market is also feeling tremors. When brand new Jeeps and Rams are suddenly available for prices once reserved for second-hand vehicles, used dealers are left scrambling to adjust, slashing their own listings just to stay competitive. The financing industry is caught in the wave too, as lenders must quickly reassess loan values, depreciation risks, and approval criteria. In short, Jeep and Ram's decision is not just a bold sales tactic, it's a market disruptor. Whether it evolves into a healthier, more competitive environment for buyers or a brutal race to the bottom for automakers will depend on how their rivals respond in the coming months. Consumer warnings: as tempting as a 50% price slash may sound, buyers need to tread carefully because not every deal is as perfect as it looks on paper. Deep discounts can sometimes come with strings attached, and Jeep and Ram's bombshell move is no exception. For starters, financing can be a hidden trap. Lenders often adjust interest rates or loan terms when vehicle prices drop drastically, which could mean higher monthly payments in the long run despite the lower sticker price. Buyers should also be cautious about dealership add-ons, extended warranties, protection plans, and service packages that sales teams may push aggressively to make up for lost margins. Those extras can quickly eat into the savings from the discount. Another concern is resale value. Vehicles that are sold at half price now could see steeper depreciation curves later, leaving owners with cars worth significantly less when it's time to trade in or resell. This can especially sting if buyers finance long-term loans, where they may end up owing more than the vehicle is worth within just a couple of years. There's also the question of why certain models are being discounted so heavily. Are they older inventory with outdated features, or are they models about to be phased out in favor of newer designs and EV replacements? While these vehicles may still be reliable, buyers should do their homework to ensure they're not jumping into a deal that feels good today but leaves them with regrets tomorrow. The key takeaway for consumers is this: yes, the 50% price cuts are real and exciting, but smart buyers will approach them with eyes wide open, reading the fine print, checking financing terms, and thinking ahead about long-term value. Because in the world of car buying, a deal that seems too good to be true often comes with a catch. The bigger picture: when you step back from the frenzy of headlines, long dealership lines, and viral buzz, Jeep and Ram's 50% price slash reveals something much larger than just a short-term sales stunt. It paints a picture of an auto industry at a crossroads. For decades, automakers held the upper hand, raising prices year after year while consumers stretched their wallets to keep up. But this drastic move shows the balance of power may be shifting. Buyers, squeezed by inflation and high interest rates, are no longer willing to play the game, and Stellantis knows it. By cutting prices in half, Jeep and Ram aren't just trying to move trucks and SUVs, they're acknowledging that the old playbook no longer works. This decision also highlights the tension between the present and the future of the industry. Gas-powered giants like the Ram 1500 and Jeep Wrangler are still cultural icons, but the EV revolution is already knocking on the door. Automakers are racing to find a way to bridge that gap, selling enough now to stay alive, while preparing for a future where electric models dominate. The bigger picture is that Stellantis may have just opened Pandora's box. If these discounts prove successful, other automakers may be forced to follow suit, reshaping the pricing landscape across the board. But if it backfires, it could erode trust in brand value, devastate profit margins, and accelerate a brutal shakeout where only the most adaptable players survive. At its core, this isn't just about Jeep and Ram, it's about what kind of auto industry we'll have in the next decade. Will it be one where cars are finally affordable again, or one where desperate measures mark the beginning of deeper trouble? That's the question Stellantis just forced the entire world to confront. And there you have it, Jeep and Ram just flipped the entire auto market on its head with price cuts no one saw coming. For buyers, it feels like a golden opportunity. For competitors, it's a nightmare. And for the industry, it's a turning point that could change how cars are priced forever. But this story is far from over. Will Stellantis come out on top, or will this bold gamble backfire? One thing's for sure, the ripple effects are only just beginning. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next update. Because trust me, the auto industry is moving fast, and the next shockwave might be even bigger than this one.